Hello everyone, and welcome to my new Let's Look At. This is not so much a game as it is just a fun little experience called How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness, a guide for the isolated. So this is, less, like I said, less of a game and more of, I believe the developers worded it, more of a create your own documentary kind of thing. It has some voice acting, it's pretty funny actually. And it's pretty obvious, well, we'll get into the story here in a little bit. So let's get on going. So, the instructions. We're Nigel Wimble, hard-hitting documentary filmmaker. You're 23 Milbury close to finish... You're 23 Milbury close to finish your documentary, essentially. So, yes, this guy has been grounded for the last 30 years, since he was 13 years old. And she doesn't want us here, so we only have enough time to talk about 3 topics. Now, the 3 topics are going to range from anything in that room. So, it's, depending on what you choose, different parts of the different interviews are going to be on the air. So, it can be pretty funny, or, well, I've only played through this once, so I only know 3 of the things. Now, depending on what, I don't know what you want to choose, but, my first thing was to that rabbit. You know, guy's been in there 30 years, doesn't seem to have a PC. Seemed like it'd be the first place to go. What are those stains? That pretty much solidified it. I want to have that on the show. I didn't say I'd be a good documentary filmmaker.
Kevin's my only friend now, aside from Mother, of course.
I didn't say I'd be a good documentary filmmaker. I would just be an amusing one, because I'd want to have the most controversial things I could. That makes good TV, right? Controversial things. Bed interested me because I can't believe a man would still sleep on that.
Harold loves cars and sleeping. It only makes sense to combine his passions. He hasn't got tons of space in here, you know.
Right. So, it was either between that or the guitar. I wanted one of the 2 of those. The next one I was thinking about was maybe the fish tank. Because, you know, it's a pet. Maybe that could get him... Then I realized fish aren't really all that... But what could a telescope be used for? Oh my. Again, guy, no internet. Figured, maybe he's gonna...
Maud from 94 is rather slender.
Right. So I figured maybe that could get a few yucks. You know, what could a guy use a telescope for, right? So when you're done, you go to finish the interview, and now we get to watch the fruits of our labor.
Tonight at 9 on BBTV, we have the final part of Nigel Wimble's hard-hitting docu-series How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness, a guide for the isolated. In tonight's episode, Nigel looks at a special case where a man has been grounded to his bedroom for over 33 years. Hello, I'm Nigel Wimble.
Well, Harold always has been a naughty boy. He was quite out of hand, you know. I've only got one nice picture of him, and even that he's pissing on the cat. In the end, I sent him to his bedroom, and the bad behaviour seemed to stop. So I've kept him up there permanently.
I had a look around Harold's room to see what he uses to cope with the boredom and loneliness from 33 years of isolation. Harold and his cohabiter, an overstuffed rabbit, have been through hell together. But at least they had each other to ease the loneliness.
Yes, Kevin is a dear friend. We've become rather close over these past few years, and perhaps more than just friends at this stage.
What do you mean by that, Harold?
Well, Kevin has needs, and, well, I have needs too. I'm forever sewing that hole back up.
We saw this kind of thing go on in our prison episode, so I'm not surprised to see it happening here too. Whether this arrangement is mutual, we will never know, as Kevin has decided to remain quiet during the making of this movie. Harold still has the plastic racing car Betty had as a child. You can imagine Harold dreaming of driving away from this isolated reality.
Well, I always had a passion for racing as a child, and I suppose that passion never left me. So it's nice to keep hold of the bed, really. I mean, it doesn't happen very often nowadays, but I'll sometimes sit there and pretend I'm Jensen Button for, well, hours at a time, really.
With an eye in the sky, you can sometimes forget where your feet are. For Harold, he never forgets where his feet are, but still has sights on the stars.
This old telescope has got me through many an afternoon. I mean, sometimes I pretend I'm a World War II sniper and people at the bus stop are advancing Germans. They wouldn't stand a chance if it was a real sniper rifle, let me tell you. They could try taking cover, but I'm pretty sure the bullets would go straight through the bus shelter. Bloodbath.
My time with Harold has come to an end. I hope one day he will find freedom and live a full life. But until then, he will continue to look for ways to cope with boredom and loneliness. I'm Nigel Wimble. Good night. Join us next week as I investigate cows and why so many stomachs. 9 p.m. Wednesday night on BBTV.
Right, well that was pretty funny if I do say so. I only got a regular score, which is but I find it, even the worst review made me laugh, so yeah, if you guys want to play this yourselves, I'll put the link to where I found it in the description below, and thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you next time as well. Farewell everyone, until then.